Glad to have you join us on the news this hour. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. President Muhammadu Buhari is insisting that not all ministers will be assigned portfolios in the cabinet. The president spoke when Senate President Saraki formally presented the names of ministers designated to him at the presidential villa. He maintained that economic realities forced him to prune down the number of ministries, even though the constitution stipulates 36 ministers representing each state of the federation in the cabinet. State House correspondent Abiola Oluwole now reports.
After weeks of intense screening of ministerial nominees by the Senate President Bukola Saraki has formally submitted the reports of the screening to President Muhammadu Buhari. After receiving the reports from the Senate President Buhari says the current economic realities in the country will not allow him to have 36 substantive ministers.
The Constitution certainly said there must be one member of the cabinet from all the states. The Constitution didn't say I must have 36 ministries. So I will exploit that detail because of the economic imperative to have less ministers, substantive ministers, let me put it that way, than whatever somebody speculated in some of the today's papers.
He also denies insinuations that his comments about the state of the economy is not encouraging foreign investors.
The economy, as I have seen it now, since my sitting here for the last 4 months, is that we are so much bettered. Although some people are saying I'm giving bad publicity, I'm scaring away investors. Any investor who is interested in investing in Nigeria, in fact, seems to know more about the economy than ourselves. So when I come and tell the truth about the position of the economy of the country, I'm going out looking for investors, but I'm confirming to them that we are truthful. We'll tell them the truth, that we need them to come to help us help ourselves by getting in industries, manufacturing, employment, goods and services. They know our needs, but because we have human and material resources, I believe eventually they will come around and help us.
For his part, Senator Saraki supports the president's position on not having 36 substantive ministers.
Honestly, I think we need to move away from the small issues and begin to focus on the major issues. I think where the country presently now, we're at a very trying time, no doubt about it. We have the challenge in the Northeast. We have the challenge in the issue of revenue. We have the challenge in the issue of trying to boost the economy and create jobs. We have some of these issues that we really need to address, and I think that it is time for us those are some of the things we looked at as a Senate, that it's time for us to give support in moving the country forward. And I think all of us, apart from those in legislative and even those of you in the media, we must begin to profile and push our country in a positive view, because otherwise there's no way we're going to address those just major issues.
As Nigerians await the allocation of portfolios to the ministerial nominees, the question on the lips of political pundits is how the ministers designate will contribute to the development of the country when they are finally assigned positions in the cabinet. From the presidential villa in Abuja, Abiola Oluwole, CoreTV News.
The Senate is to send a 9-man delegation headed by Senate leader Ali Ndume to commiserate with the government and people of Adamawa State and families of victims of recent bomb attacks. They have also once again urged security agencies to intensify efforts in bringing the perpetrators to book. These were the resolutions reached following a motion raised by the senator representing Adamawa South, Amadou Abubakar. Basi Aye now reports.
The bomb attacks on worshippers at a local mosque and internally displaced persons in Yola and Madagali camps are among the most recent in the troubled Northeast. These attacks, according to senators, are one too many. They say the resultant humanitarian crisis due to the increasing number of IDPs is pathetic and insist that security agencies must be more proactive to curtail the seemingly brazen attacks.
Humanitarian crisis in the northeast is so pathetic that Nigeria has the largest population of internally displaced persons in Africa and one of the largest in the world. Accordingly, resolved to 1. Condemn the bomb blast in its entirety and urge the security agencies to intensify the hunt for the perpetrators to bring them to justice.
We need to be a little more strategic. I call especially the Directorate of Security Services, who should ensure that these operations of the insurgents should be nipped or are nipped from the board, because it is important that we get informations. The world today is becoming a little more scientific in its approach, and I think we should also go that way.
These other senators from Adamawa are a bit particular about basic healthcare facilities that are either inadequate or non-existent to cater for victims of bomb blasts.
There were over 40 people dead. I had over 100 people injured. Some were in a state of coma, and so on and so forth. Mr. President, what is even worrisome is that when we visited the hospital, we realized that they didn't have enough drugs to assist these people with. And in some areas, they didn't have the facilities, they didn't have enough hospital space to take care of these people.
The Federal Medical Center in Yola is in their need of facilities that will help in aiding those people that need a first-hand treatment. When you talked about blood, there is no blood in that area, sir, for people to get it. So I will crave the indulgence of this hallowed chamber to come to the need of especially the Federal Medical Center and even Madagali, because a lot of people don't want to go to Madagali local government, especially Madagali town, which obviously has been taken over by the insurgents.
The motion is capped by the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, who appreciates the gallantry of the security forces.
On behalf of the Senate, who comes here with the families, and based by the prayer too, we'll send a team led by the leader, Senator Ali Ndume, also have Senator Mao Waban as a member, Senator Solomon Adiola, member, Senator Geshem Bassi, Senator Mohamed Shaba Lafiaji, Senator Kabiru Marafa, and all senators from Adamawa State will join in the delegation. Thank you.
The Senate delegation is expected to go to Adamawa in due course. Basiaye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
And while the senators directed its ADA Committee on Local and Foreign Debts, headed by Kabiru Gaya, to look into President Buhari's request for the $200 million Lagos State Development Policy loan. This was on the basis of a presentation by Senate leader Ali Ndume. The World Bank loan, which serves as budget support, is to enable the state consolidate on the gains made with the first and second tranches as approved in the federal government external borrowing plan. We'll take a break now, and I'll be back with more stories. Do join us again.
This is what the people are saying.
You don't run a big economy with generator. They need to do more in terms of energy and power.
Many things to do for this Nigeria about lights, water, and new TT.
For Nigerians that are not gullible, we know that good laws have done nothing good for this country.
Buhari won the election convincingly.
They talk to her husband that you should keep promise about what you said, and because people are watching you, you know, another election is coming.
Because some people will stand for Yoruba land, will be strong man, you don't die.
This nation is moving forward. The best is going to take place.
The people giving voice to the voiceless.
Welcome back. You can get all of our top stories on any of the social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. On Twitter handles at CoreTV News NG. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/CoreTV with the space and news. The Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, Senator Ike Ekweremadu, has pressed for the independence of the legislature. This, he says, is because the seat of presiding officers of most African parliaments is precarious and endangered. Ekweremadu was speaking on Monday evening at the opening of the 15th Commonwealth Speakers and Presiding Officers Conference holding in Accra, Ghana. Senator Ekweremadu, who also doubles as the Deputy President of the Nigerian Senate, observed that although the onus lies on the presiding officers to provide the requisite leadership to engender more vibrant and effective legislatures on the continent, the seats of the presiding officers are often precarious and endangered. He noted that the same presiding officers have powerful external forces and influences to contend with, including executive excesses and interference of overbearing party leaderships, as well as internal parliamentary politics that sometimes result in removal of such officers. A federal high court sitting in Abuja has granted the request of former National Security Advisor Sambo Dasuki to travel abroad for medical attention. The trial judge, Justice Adamawa, in a ruling, ordered the court registrar to release Dasuki's passport to enable him to travel abroad. Justice Adamawa, who had earlier granted the former NSA bail on self-recognition, also varied the conditions to include a surety who will undertake to produce him on the next adjourned date. Our correspondent Basil Okafor now reports.
Dasuki appeared in court on Tuesday, accompanied by his lawyers, family and associates. They are here to hear the court ruling on whether the former NSA will be allowed to travel to attend to his health challenges. Finally, Justice Adamawa, in a ruling, granted Dasuki a period of 3 weeks within which to take care of his health condition abroad. In the ruling, which lasted over an hour, the judge said it was the right of every Nigerian to choose where to seek medical attention. Justice Adamawa, however, dismissed claims by the prosecution that the 3 weeks period granted the accused will delay the trial.
It's a very pleasant ruling, and anything otherwise will have been most unexpected, because for you to stand trial, you must be in a good state of health. It's not as if he's been allowed to go away, and he's presumed innocent. If a dead man cannot face trial, because once your health is not well managed and you are gone, then of what use? So the application is also in the best interest of the complainant to enable the accused person to withstand this trial.
The judge, however, ordered the former NSA to return his travel documents to the court within 72 hours of arrival from his medical trip. The trial has been adjourned till November 26 and 27. Basil Okafor, CoreTV News, Abuja.
A federal high court in Abuja has adjourned the trial of a former head of service, Stephen Oronsaye, over an alleged 2 billion naira fraud to November 25, 2015. The adjournment follows the amendment of the 24-count charge earlier preferred against Oronsaye by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. The amended charge contains 35 counts bordering on stealing and obtaining money by false pretense. EFCC explained that further investigation into the fraud necessitated a need to amend the 24-count charge initially brought against the former head of service on July 13, 2015, over several biometric contract awards during the tenure. Justice Gabriel Kolawole, in acceding to his request, adjourned till November 25, 2015. As countdown to governorship elections in Bayelsa State continues, Governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tambuwal, has discontinued fears that the All Progressives Congress may lose because it's the home state of former President Goodluck Jonathan. Tambuwal, who spoke on the sidelines of an APC caucus meeting in Abuja, insisted that every factor that could militate against the party's victory has been put in perspective. He also denied reports of a factionalized APC in the state, adding that all party members are working together in Bayelsa.
The party has founded members of the party in Biafra are working together to see the gladiators who are virtually all around for the inauguration of the campaign council. And it's work in progress. We shall ensure that we'll bring everybody on board for the party to win this election.
And this is a home state of former President Goodluck Jonathan. How do you think it's possible?
We have taken all the factors into consideration, and the signs are really very clear that by the grace of God, APC is going to decisively win this election.
The slow pace of judicial dispensation and delay in investigation procedures by police has been fingered as the major factor responsible for the congestion in most Nigerian prisons. The Chief Judge of Osun State, Justice Bolanle Adepeleojo, said this at the Ilesha and Ile-Ife medium prisons as she ordered the release of 23 prison inmates under Special Provision Act. Rashid now reports.
As part of judicial obligations, the Osun State Chief Judge, Justice Bolanle Adepeleojo, arrived at the Ile-Ife medium prison in company of other judges and magistrates. The team is here for the full trial of these inmates to be considered based on health challenges, long years of awaiting trial, and mental disability. The officer in charge of the Ile-Ife medium prison, Ajangono Matthew, says it is unfortunate that out of the 210 inmates in the prison, a huge sum of 178 of the inmates are on the awaiting trial list.
I want to mention that with due sense of humility, that the slow pace of judicial dispensation coupled with the characteristic marathon and peculiar delayed investigation procedure of the police have continued to constitute major hindrance in prisons administration as they make the much desired prisons clarification unattainable, thus culminating in unnecessary congestion.
One after the other, the Chief Judge looks into the case of the inmates, and at the end of it all, 9 inmates from Ile-Ife prison and 14 from Ilesha prison were considered worthy on grounds of health and long overdue trial. The Osun State Chief Registrar, who spoke for the Chief Judge, emphasized on the need for these special sessions periodically to speed up the judicial process and make room for inmates.
It was a full trial, so to say. Cases we are taking, mentioned one after the other, according to the specific needs of the inmates. So at the end of the day, you see it all, that about 9 inmates were released from here. Delay in trial is just all over in our system. That's why exercises like these are very needful in the administration of justice system. What I see to them is that it is all over. We need to improve on our criminal justice system in a way that administration of justice will be speedily tried and accused persons will have justice on time.
The inmates who just regained freedom spoke amidst emotions.
I thank God Mighty for what God had done in my life today. And then I want the state government to help many people among the inmates of this yard. Because the way the police are arrested accused people, torturing, do confessional statements, at the end of the day, they will brought the accused person to the court without any evidence. Please, we are not saying the police officer, they are not performing their duty. They are performing their duty, but they must supposed to make sure that they do properly investigation about the accused person before they brought the accused person to the court. Yes, I give a glory to God bless what God has done my life today. Because I don't expect that I can get my freedom. But well, I forgive the appeal of my case. I forgive.
This was the first time of my being in prison custody. So, and I've been here for the past a year. So I thank God that that I'm released today. In the experience here, I learned that I have to be patient. I have to be patient in all my attempts, in whatever I respond to.
As these inmates prepare to leave for their homes, some hopeful of what lies ahead of them in the larger society, these other inmates only hope and pray that very soon their cases will also be given quick accent to regain their freedom. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ile-Ife.
The Ekiti State chapter of the People's Democratic Party has been dragged to court over rent arrears on its secretariat. The owner of the building, Rocco Adesanya, accused the PDP of failure to pay its rent, issuance of dot check, and snubbing a quit notice letter served on the PDP. While Rocco Adesanya praised the court to effect the quit notice, the PDP says the eviction notice was not properly served on them. Rashid has details.
This is the building housing the Ekiti State PDP Secretariat, situated along Gajilosun Road in Ado-Ekiti. The building is owned by former chairman of the party, Rocco Adesanya, now in All Progressives Congress. It may be business as usual before, but now that allegiance has changed, Rocco Adesanya drags the PDP to court for failure to pay rent arrears of 1.5 million naira, issuance of failed check, and ignoring eviction notice.
I give my own accommodation to another opposition party, they can destroy it. And that is why I now run to magistrate court that they should help me to vacate them and also make sure they pay my money. When they gave them the notice of vacation to leave the place, they gave me a check of 1.5 million. That was around May, and when I paid the money got back. The check was a dot check.
The PDP, though, admitted owing Rocco Adesanya and receipt of the eviction notice, but frowns at the court case instituted by its landlord.
We are not refusing to give out the property. Neither do we have intention to owe him any money. What actually happened is that the man brought his letter to us just so recently. And in the letter, he was saying that he should give me time to study the event. And unfortunately for him, he went to court. I don't see any justification for going to court at this point in time.
The defense counsel, however, raised objection in court, saying the eviction notice was not properly served.
The notice served was served on a wrong person. If they have admitted that PDP is a corporate entity, it is supposed to be served on the secretary of the party and not the person they served.
The matter has been adjourned till the 9th of November 2015. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
Outside Nigeria, a U.S. infrared satellite has reportedly detected a heat flash at the time Russian passenger jet went down in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. As the investigation into the deadly plane crash continues, a U.S. official disclosed that the U.S. intelligence community believes that it could have been some kind of explosion at the plane itself, either a fuel tank or bomb. The official said the speculation that the plane was brought down by a missile is off the table. It will be recalled that the jet crashed on Saturday, killing all 224 passengers and crew on board. And that wraps it on the news this hour. Join us again at the top of the hour for more stories. I am Nifemi Okunsoye.